We've seen a couple new alpha and beta release games fail when it comes to their authentication servers. They'll throw up a new release, thousands, tens of thousands of people will try to sign in, and it'll end up collapsing their servers and mayhem ensues. So one of the things that we're focusing on in our first 40 days is bulking up our authentication capabilities. And this isn't directly tied to authentication, but it is one of the main server requests that we have. Even though there will be various different types of server requests, authentication is of course the main one that gets players into the game. So that's what we're going to be demoing in this devlog. And when I say authentication, again, all I'm talking about is being able to sign into the game so you can start playing right away. So here's an example of us signing in. You can see that was nice and quick, but of course we're not really seeing what it would be like in a real world scenario where we have thousands of requests coming into our server at the same time. So what I want to do is run a little script that we've created that's going to hit our live server 1,000 times. And if everything goes well, then we'll increase that count. Okay, so here I'm going to run a script. We'll see that it's going to send 1,000 requests. Any 200 result is a success, and any 502 result would be a failure. And at the end, whenever the script is done running, it'll give us a nice little summary of the results. So let's go ahead and run this. This is sending 1,000 concurrent requests. We can also see how long it's taking for the requests to be fulfilled. Down here we can see the summary of our test. We had 1,000 succeed, 0 fail, and then also the time to complete 1,000 requests, just under 5 seconds. Now, one of the properties of our servers is they have what's known as a cold start. And whenever the servers are just starting up for the first time, they'll run a little bit slower. So let me run this test again to see if we can get faster results. Okay, so that was about half a second faster, but this is generally going to be with our current server settings, this is generally going to be as fast as we're going to get. So the time to complete 1,000 requests was about 4.5 seconds. And you can see the max wait time for any one of our users with this many requests coming in concurrently is going to be about 4 seconds. So let's run the test again with 10,000 requests. Okay, I've updated the script to allow 10,000 requests. I'm just going to go ahead and run this and see what happens. So here what we're seeing is the requests are still being made because there's so many of them as results are coming back. You can see roughly our max time that we're seeing is about 3 seconds. And it looks like there's a couple 4-second times there. But 10,000 requests at the same time is a massive number of requests. I saw a couple that were about 4 seconds, but you can see the vast majority of these requests are being fulfilled within just under 3 seconds. And here again we have 10,000 succeeded and 0 failed. The total time to complete 10,000 requests for this test was 29 seconds. Now, an interesting thing that we can do is run this on multiple console emulators. So we'll end up getting technically more than 10,000 requests concurrently, and we'll start to see the server break. And that's what we really want to do when we're running this test, is to see what our actual server capacity is. So what I want to do now is essentially try to break our servers. Okay, so what I've done is I've opened up 4 different console emulators. This is going to allow me to run this script 4 times concurrently. And each one of these emulators is going to call 10,000 requests to our server. I'm fully expecting this to result in some failures. And that's pretty much what we want to see so we can determine the capacity for our current state. So let's go ahead and run all of these at the same time and see what happens. Okay, so what we saw here was a little bit of a pause on each one of these requests. You can see that we're up to 18 seconds. We went from about 4 seconds to 10 to 12 to 18 seconds. What's happening there is we're experiencing our max bandwidth. So that's what happens in a real world scenario. Whenever servers receive too many requests, you'll end up having these freeze ups that happen. But I'm going to go ahead and wait for the tests to complete so we can see what our results are. We're already seeing some 502s here, so I'm expecting to see quite a bit of failures on this test. Okay, so we have 2 of these that finished up, and we have the other 2 are just sort of hung up. And with the 2 that finished, we can see that we already have some failures. Still a surprising number of successes, but this is really longer than we would want this many requests to take. You can see the total time for these 2 to finish was 82 seconds, which is far too long. But this is sort of what we're testing with our authentication. Right now, we know that we can handle 10,000 requests simultaneously without any problem. And as our load increases, we'll end up increasing the bandwidth on our servers.